What's going on YouTube? This is AK and you're watching Vlog More. And today I have a very special review because it's not a gun review, but it is a fun review. So what is it that I'm going to be talking about today? If you're like me, you pay attention to current events. And if you're like me, you've noticed that for the past few years now, things have been getting a little bit spicy around the United States of America. And when I say spicy, I mean like the climate's a little bit, warm, like American citizens being real, warm with each other, like so warm to the point to where things get hot and people are on fire, okay, in the United States with how angry they are at one another. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And having said that, it does make one wonder, hey, do I need a gun? Because the big emphasis in this country, also for the past few years, has been guns, right? That's been the superstar of this reality show called America, or America, whichever one you prefer. Now, having said that, most of you watching are regular, everyday, law-abiding American citizens who just happen to own guns. Now, of course, a lot of people in the gun community say, oh, well, we own them for recreation, and, it's a hobby of ours. But let's keep it real, okay? Let's keep it really, really real. 90% of us have these recreational weapons just in case something, let's say goes down. What's that? Oh, shit hit the fan. Oh, okay, yeah, I'd say that would be about right. And in shit hit the fan, we all wonder what's that magic gun, that you can use to defend your life with, like if all hell broke loose, you weren't really able to, rely on like an armory, you weren't able to rely on, just things that we have access to on a day-to-day basis, right? We all flirt with this idea. So we think to ourselves, what's that one gun that I would have to choose in the event that I wasn't able to really readily clean my weapon right away, or, I'm engaging in gunfights and all this post-apocalyptic craziness. And so what's the go-to gun? Well, there's plenty of options out there, okay? Especially, if you live in a state where, you really don't have freedom and you can't own whatever you want. But just for this video's sake, I'm only gonna focus on two weapons. And that one is the AK-47 and America's favorite AR-15. Interesting. So with this review, I'm going to seek an answer as to which one of these rifles is just an all-around better rifle for a SHTF type situation where you're not able to clean your gun right away, okay? You might have to fire a whole bunch of shots and hopefully nothing malfunctions. And, just an overall, I have to survive. I'm not in combat. I don't have a base supporting me that I can take my gun to an armory once we come back to headquarters or whatever. It's just me and my gun, and this is what I have, and I'm gonna run it until something fails, and once it fails, I'm screwed. So let's just look at which one would be better. Let's get started with the smackdown. I'm just kidding, I'm not trying to be that dramatic, okay, but seriously, let's get started. First, let's get started with the AR-15. Now, this weapon was created in the 1950s, and the AR stands for Armalite Rifle, not automatic rifle, okay, like some may think. It's actually Armalite Rifle, and that was the original name for it when it was introduced, and then when the military adopted it, they call it the M16, okay, and it replaced the M14 in Vietnam, because that was what they were using before the M16 came into service. Now, this weapon shoots a 5.56 by 45 caliber bullet or a 223 Remington. So bullet's relatively small, but it was designed to shatter upon impacting its target. And I feel like it's a very deadly round. if used properly. Now the good thing about this gun is it's very accurate, more accurate than the AK-47 out to longer ranges. And yeah, it's extremely light and compact. This is a carbine version, not a mid-length or a rifle length, a carbine version, which makes it a lot easier to carry. And yeah, it's just, I have to reiterate, accurate, lightweight, accurate. You know, if you're looking to not really engage close up, this weapon would be an ideal choice for that. And if you're also making sure that you hit your target from far ranges, I would say that this weapon would be good for that. Now these are all the positives. Now let's get into some of the negatives that this rifle has. Now, of course, you've probably surfed a lot of other YouTube videos. If you were specifically looking at which rifle is better, maybe you're thinking about buying one or the other. But I can only give you the research I've done and my experiences with both rifles. Now, first things first, I did qualify with the M16A2 in boot camp, and I had to qualify once I graduated boot camp when I was in the Air Force. Now, I personally, the AR-15 was the first rifle, or the M16 was the first rifle I ever shot. Okay, and I gotta say I had a blast shooting it. I would say from my personal experience, the AR-15 is a lot more fun to shoot than any other rifle that I've shot. I just love to shoot the thing. Super fun, you know, super lightweight, just a really, really cool gun to shoot and to own as well. But the negative is this thing, not mine in particular, I haven't had any issues with mine, but with the range guns, I will say that they did malfunction quite a bit, and with quite a few of the students. Now I get it, they were range guns, they've been beat to hell, you know, used over and over again, and so they get a pass for that. But they are very sensitive and finicky rifles, and from friends that I had who were downrange in different services, Army, Marines, and even in some of the you know, career fields in the Air Force, who had to carry these in the desert, yeah, these things didn't perform too well according to them. So with that said, you know, what I feel confident using this gun in a scenario where I didn't have support to be able to repair this thing or to take it back to an armor or whatever the case is, kind of like it is in the military, the answer is no. I personally would not feel 100% confident with this gun in a ultimate SHTF scenario. However, if you're a person that has a spare part of everything, then I would say I would have 99% confidence in this rifle. Okay, and you're ready to rock and roll. And nowadays, just to mention, they do make AR-15s that are like in the $2,000–$3,000 mark range. That for meltdown tests, they've been more reliable than a lot of the AK-47s that are coming out. So if that makes you feel confident enough, then this is a winner, okay, in its own right. And you know, stick with it. Or you can just build your own and build yourself a winner that can perform just as well as those $3,000 AR-15s. Okay, put yourself a nice hollow sun scope, and you're ready to rock and roll. Next weapon on the list is the AK-47, or automatic Kalashnikov. A couple cool facts about this gun is it was created in 1946 and by Mikhail Kalashnikova, and it was released in basically for the Soviet Union Army in 1949, and it has been the most notorious rifle in world history ever since. Yes, this rifle right here is the most notorious rifle in world history ever. Now this weapon here has been used from battlefields all over the world, and is the most easiest weapon to master especially compared to the rifle that we just covered, the AR-15. Now here's some things that you might not know about this rifle if you're an AR guy or an FAL guy or what have you. This weapon is actually accurate out to 300 meters, okay, and for some people even farther than that. My personal experience is I can hit a pipe plate out to 200 yards with this thing with relatively, low difficulty. I won't be as accurate consistently as I would with an AR-15, but still yet, this thing is very accurate, and I have outshot guys with AR-15s with this gun. Yes, I know some of those guys aren't the best shots in the world, but they do have a more accurate rifle, and that just goes to show that just because you have a more accurate rifle doesn't mean you can shoot. So this weapon has outshot people with AR-15s before, so I have total confidence in the AK-47 platform. It's not as inaccurate as people would lead you to believe. Trust me, it's coming from experience, and those of you out there who do own an AK-47 rifle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, some great things about this rifle also is the 7.62 by 39 caliber that this weapon shoots, which is one hell of a round. Really big, really heavy, really punchy, right? And yeah, wouldn't want to be on the business end of a 7.62 by 39. Most definitely not. It's a very middle ground round because you've got the 308s that the FAL shoots, you've got the 5.56 that the AR shoots, and then you've got the 7.62 by 39, which I feel is like the porridge round, the just right round, the Goldilocks round. Yeah, I think it's more than capable of puncturing. I've seen it puncture engine blocks. You can, incapacitate a vehicle with it, and you can just do a lot with this weapon. Easy to use, easy to kill with this thing, and oh man, the most important part about the rifle, before I forget, reliability. This is not an argument that we can just have because it's proven itself. On the battlefield, the AK-47, okay, real AK-47. There's not a lot of these that are coming out and on the market today. I hate to bash them, but Century Arms, I love your pistols, but your AKs, nah, I think you kind of missed the mark there. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real AK-47s, okay? That might not be the easiest to come by, but people do have in this country. Look, it's the most reliable platform ever. Okay, I would say next to this would probably be your FAL platforms, or maybe even Galils, but the AK-47 holds the marker for most reliable rifle in the world, and this thing's been around longer than your FALs and your AR-15s. I need to look up when the FAL was made. Anyway. Now we're getting into downsides of the rifle, okay? So bear with me. Downsides of the AK-47 rifle. Got to keep it real, people, okay? Got to keep it 800 like a credit score. This thing here is heavy, okay? Really, really heavy. And I don't know if I'd want to carry this thing around for a long period of time because it would definitely, I think, become cumbersome and really uncomfortable after a while if you had to hike for a long period of time and, you're just trekking through the woods or whatever it is that you think you're going to be doing in an SHTF situation. This thing is heavy. So that's a major, major downside. Another thing is, although I spoke about it already, the accuracy, it's not going to be as accurate as an AR-15. It's just not, and you need to remember that when purchasing a rifle that you may potentially use for that type of situation. If it's something that's super important to you, then to the point to where you're like obsessive compulsive about it, then this might not be the rifle for you. But for those of you who are warrior minded, who are just like, look, dude, I just want something that's reliable, that's accurate enough. Okay, yeah, you guys come on over here to this club. You'll be just fine. Like I said, in combat, if I ever had to engage, I'm going to be more than comfortable. at 100 yards. This thing here, 100 yards is gonna be cheesecake for this thing, okay? You know, and to be real with you, I'm pretty sure if a SHTF situation happened, 100 yards is probably going to be your average distance that you're going to engage anyway. So this is really, you know, all you're going to need. Now, I have read articles about fights in Vietnam where Vietnamese and Americans alike spoke about their combat experience with the other side. And a lot of the Vietnamese would say, and Americans alike, that the Vietnamese did better in combat when they were closer to the American troops. But at farther distances, US would kick that ass. Now, I'm not 100% sure if they were talking about, you know, air support cannons or, you know, mortar or whatever the case is, why the Americans did better at longer ranges. But I'm guessing that they did better at longer ranges because the M16 just performs better in terms of accuracy at longer ranges. So let's just say that we go with that, right? That's a benefit of the M16 or the AR-15 is that, you know, you'd be able to more effectively engage an enemy at beyond 100 yards, right? So that's a really good plus of the AR-15. But, you know, once again, you have to do that trade-off. What do you want? Do you want something that, you know, you're going to be 100% comfortable with the reliability of it and decent accuracy, or something with razor sharp accuracy but not as much reliability, especially in a situation where, you know, you might not have cleaned your weapon in a really long time? So all in all, which weapon do I say is the weapon that I would choose in a SHTF situation? Well, if you've watched my other videos, you probably are going to know what the answer is already. Now, I love the AR-15. This weapon's amazing. It's my favorite in terms of when society's up and running. It's fun to go to the range and practice with and stay proficient with. And I love this rifle, and I wish that it had the reputation that the AK-47 did, because if it did, this would be my #1 rifle. But with the experiences that I've had in boot camp and with other people who, you know, have used it in the desert and said that they, you know, it was a finicky rifle. You had to baby it, you had to make sure it was wet, running wet all the time. I gotta be honest, guys. Damn. It's gonna be the AK-47. Yeah. You know, the AR-15 is a funner gun to shoot. And for those of you who do buy an AR-15, good on you. Just make sure that, you know, it's something that you buy because you're either familiar with the platform because you're prior military, or because, you know, you just like light weapons, you know, that are super accurate. But for me, I'm a really, really practical guy, you know, and that's the reason why I like handguns that are practical. Why I'm a big fan of Glock and, you know, guns like the Janik TP9 SA and the Smith & Wesson SD9. These are practical guns for practical people. Well, if you're the practical man, then this is going to be the gun for you. That's just the way it is. So I would say that the AK-47 is the winner, okay? And it's only because of the fact that, I'll put it this way, if I was in a combat zone, what I want to be thinking about more than anything is just being the most effective at engaging a target. Not, is the weapon that I'm using to engage a target with gonna work every time I pull the trigger? Because it seems like a lot of people said that that was, unfortunately, some of the things that they thought about when they were in combat. Man, I really hope this thing works all the time. And when it comes to your life being on the line, it's not something that I want to be thinking about. You know, if the AK-47 goes down, then at least you know, well, hey dude, I must have really ran the hell out of it for it to do that. And like I said, once again, I'm saying real AK-47s, not the stuff that you buy from Century Arms, your RAS 47s and stuff like that. No, I'm not talking about them. I'm more talking about like your Wiser 10s, your Norenkos, Russian made AK-47, stuff like that. Your Egyptian Mahdi's. Those are real AKs, dude. So if you're a person that wants to have that peace of mind and you don't mind the added weight of not only the rifle itself but the rounds, man, whew, that's a lot of working out to do. You better make sure you're in shape. But if that's something that you're willing to accept, then this is the rifle. But if you're a person who has all the parts you need, AR-15 is the one for you. So this has been my personal take on both weapons. I hope you guys had a good time. We may do more videos like this in the future. And if you guys are AR fans and you're pissy about the result, I totally get it, man. Buy your AR-15 still with confidence. Make sure you got extra parts just in case something goes down, and so that you have that peace of mind and still rock out with your AR-15. All right, so this has been Vlogmore, AK speaking here. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace.